Welcome back to Edgewater, Saskatchewan for episode 24 with me, MrSealyp. It's a new day here in Edgewater, Saskatchewan, September 2, 7:30 in the morning. I'm bringing down the next bit of fertiliser to sell, that is. I think I've still got about 100,000 litres, if not more, sitting there. All the productions are chugging away. We're going to whiz over to the straw process in a minute. We're not going to be quite... There you go, 909. We haven't quite hit the million. I thought we would hit the million. That said, as is always the case in game, it was not going to last long because we're going to buy some property. I said in the last episode that I was thinking about getting a new farm, expanding out from where we are. So we've got a lot to get done. We're going to, I've got all my straw processing stuff to sell for today. I've topped up the straw and all the processes, so that's all good to go. I've moved manure over. My canola harvest I finished on field 31, my field, and the flax was done in the last episode. What did I finish in the last episode? Anyway, we'll go up and we'll have a look at the main farm because we're going to obviously purchase the new one. We've got the silo house to take down. We've got a new sleep trigger to put in. We'll have a look around the new farm. I haven't purchased it yet, but we'll have a look around the new farm at our options, what we're going to keep. I'm probably going to keep all of it actually. And we can start looking at what machinery can be moved into the new farm. I've got 2 harvest contracts, one on the go, as you can see the harvest is just sitting there, one for canola, one for flax, and I think that's going to be it for the season pretty much. I have mulched my 2 fields. I then went to do the rock picking because we had a lot of big stones on them, but I can't pick the rocks up. I don't know what's going on. I can't pick the rocks up, so I thought, you know what I'll do? I'll do my pHing, I'll get my lime on. If I get the lime on, it might change the field, but it hasn't changed the field state. That's the thing, I thought it would. So I've limed both of them. They have been pH'd, they are good to go. What we're going to do is just very quickly, the stuff that's been building up over the last 24 hours, we're going to get this sold. Actually, this will take us over $1 million, won't it? Should do. Grab the bits of it. I could have been selling it as I was going along, but I just thought it made more sense to stack it all up, and then I can take it in bulk rather than do one parcel at a time. Oh yeah, we can obviously go over $1 million, and then I'm going to spend over half of it. I've got my new cultivator up. Yes, anyway, I was saying about so I've done my pHing, and it still wouldn't let me rock pick. And if we go to the map, you'll see that our field 1 here, field 51, and field 31, if we go that way to, to there, yeah, look, it's mulch, but we're really heavy on big stones. I can't pick them up. So I'm thinking what I need to do is cultivate. I've got my new cultivator. Cultivate first, and that should change the field state, rather than just liming or mulching, which I thought would do it. If I still can't pick up the stones, I've got a problem, which I don't get because I own those fields. They are definitely mine. So, yeah, actually, I'm really puzzled. Actually, while we're on here, this is what we're going to buy. 517 grand. Actually, no. Do I go over $1 million first? Let's crack the $1 million first. Let's do it before I spend any more money. Let's crack the mill. There we go. We're millionaires, albeit briefly. We'll get back there again. I said in the last episode it was the turning point, and it is the turning point. Bigger farm, we can start moving machinery and equipment across. We can afford bigger machinery now. I can afford to start buying more fields as well as we start moving forward. I'm looking at potential other productions. I'm going to get some more beehives when we get up there. I've got ploughing to do. I've got so much I've got to sort out. I'll do a few bits and bobs of that in this episode, but yeah. It's all good. Now again, I don't know, addressing concerns. There's only been a few people that have mentioned things. We have always, in the case for any YouTuber, any YouTube commenting, we have a silent majority. Of the thousands of people that might watch a video, you might get a few hundred comments. Within those few hundred comments, you'll get likes and dislikes. The likes and dislikes don't often match up to the amount of they don't match up to the views you've had. The comments are normally less than the amount of likes or dislikes. Not always. But I've always said you always focus on the dislikes. It's that kind of, But when you think about it on the scale of the amount of people that have viewed it, the amount of people that have commented, and the likes versus dislikes, it's a very small amount of people. And often it's, you know, we've always said it's the silent majority and the loud minority that you tend to focus on. But anyway, like I say, a few little comments here and there about various different things. And I've put in a ton of hours. I've put in a lot of hours on here with all the various different jobs, and I've talked about them in the last couple of episodes. This hasn't been I didn't come straight onto the map, and within the first 2 episodes all of a sudden I'm a millionaire. I've just, I haven't cheated money and haven't done that. I've done the work. I've put the work in. We've been going for an entire year. We've done an entire year on here. We started August, we've rolled through the next August, we're into this harvest season. So it's taken a year to get to a point where we're not kind of scratching around for finances, which is a good thing. And now we're at a point we can push out. But it's what direction do you push out in? As I've said many times before, on the map, find the thing that's going to make you money, whether it be forestry, whether it be wood chip, whether it be silage, whether whatever it might be on that particular map that looks like it will do well, and that's what you're going to make your money on. My silage bales that I made aren't quite there yet. I've done three cuts or 4 cuts of the grass, and baled, which it took time to do it, and we've made money from doing that. When the next lot are ready to go, we'll make a bit more again on that as well. I did have, what pops up, I was going to say, on second-hand machinery, look, a wheeled Steiger, 65% off. Do I need any more tractors? I don't. At the moment, probably not. But 613 horsepower. Oh, it's a big old brute, isn't it? It would increase my my case fleet. I would have quite a selection actually at this point. Trouble is, if I don't get it, then I'll be thinking, at that price I should have got it. Oh, I don't know what to do now. Oh, I might leave it. I don't know. Anyway, let's get back up to the farm. So what I've got to do first, I've got ploughing to do, like I said. I'm going to plough between the 2 fields to put those together. I took down the bale storage. I'm going to build a new bale and pallet storage building. I've talked about that a little bit, where I was going to put it. What else? Oh yeah, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to cultivate a patch of ground with my new cultivator. Then I'm going to grab the rock picker and try and rock pick on the bit I've just cultivated. If I still can't pick up the rocks, I am really stuck then. I don't know why I can't pick them up. So that's the last thing for me to try. Like I say, I've mulched, I've limed. I'm thinking, I thought the mulching would do it, but I'm thinking cultivating is changing the ground state completely. That should change it. I don't know if I'm then going to have to just bite the bullet and say, right, I'm going to have to plough it all out again. I don't really want to have to do that. I could. Whether that'll be enough to trigger it, but that's the first test we've got to do, is do that. The pH in, I've had my lime production running, because actually the 2 fields I just bought, or the field I had bought, field 1 and field 31, when I said they were fairly low yielding, or lower than I thought, they hadn't been limed. Because when I did the liming, whoa, the amount of lime it took to get it to the perfect level was considerable. I mean, to be fair, all my fields up to now have been fairly small, so they were big fields anyway. They were always going to take a lot of lime. Actually, yeah, we bought it. Oh no, we haven't. I looked at it, didn't I? This is the farm we're going to purchase, right next door to where we are. It does mean we get another silo complex, 2 more buildings, and we get a farmhouse, which means we can take down the other one, which means, like I said before, when we hit that really cold winter again, we're going to be nice and roasty toasty in our own little farmhouse. All good. So yeah, and a bit more space here around it, so we can put some other bits and bobs in. I'm just trying to think of all the various things we can do. What I might do is around the back, I'm wandering around on someone else's property. Let's buy this, shall we? So what I say was 517 grand. So yeah, that's half our money we've just made gone. I've still got 525,000 in the bank. That's good. So more storage, space down the sides here, which gives me more grass as well. Oh, that was what I was going to say. I'll tell you that when we go over to the other area. This got a workshop in it? Don't think it has it? No. Oh, loads of space. That's fantastic. The silo, I can't remember what the capacity of this was, but I think it's a standard crop type. I don't think it's a multifruit. But what I was thinking is through the back here, just clearing a little bit here, putting a track in across the back through the trees, which will bring me out at the fish farming right through here. I might take one of these trees out possibly, just to give myself a bit more space, which will bring me straight out the back of here. We can run right the way across the back of the farm, so we can run right the way through to join onto the new farm. That's kind of part of the plan. Right, so actually I haven't checked this. How are we looking? Oh, okay, okay, we got off over. Yeah, I'm going to need to sell some fish. I've forgotten all about that. I've got so caught up in everything I'm doing. So, in storage then, off that field 31, we ended up with 91,000 litres of canola, I want to say. Is that what we ended up with? Bottom right. We are eating through our straw. We're getting through it. So we've got 98,000 litres of barley, 91,000 litres of canola, 60,000 litres of potatoes, 41,000 litres of stones, oats in here. Have we got wheat in here as well? I'm trying to remember what we've got in here. I can't remember. Anyway, and over in this one, this is the one that's got our flax and our flax straw. Lime, I ran that up, took some out and put it into storage because I wanted to make sure I had enough. Because that hits 100,000 litres and then it stops running, and because I was getting through so much of it to do the fields, I ran it, took some out, so we've got some in here as well. 52, so we've got flax straw, 1,700,000. Where's our flax? Oh, I sold it, didn't I? Where's my flax gone? Sold it at the end of the last episode. So yeah, 1.7 million litres of flax straw. That should keep the spinnery going for a while, shouldn't it? Lime production, how's that going? Okay, so wool, cotton and flax straw. We still haven't got a full fabric pallet yet. I thought with all three running, that would have been a bit quicker. But maybe not. Anyway. So that's that, that's that, that's that. I'll go and grab the pickup in a minute. I need to do this test. I've got to check this out. The silo's coming down. And then we're going to move to our home, where we're going to be living over there. Oh yeah, I said I would put more bees in, didn't I? If we had enough money, and we have got enough money, so I'm going to put some more bees in. Bear with me momentarily. There we go. We are expanding, which is what we need to be doing. I'm probably going to need to top my fuel up, because I have been absolutely... 13 litres left. What did I put in that? Did I put 5,000 litres in there? Oh man, have I got through the fuel. That's insane. I did, didn't I? But 5,000... How have I used 5,000 litres already? That's terrifying. Right, let's check on my silage production. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say. While I was doing... Well, no, not through the pond. Because I was doing crop swathing, and my swather was doing the crops, and it was doing the grass as well. Because I hadn't really thought about doing this before, and when I was clipping the edges I was getting a bit of grass, so what I was doing on the wider bits, I was swathing the grass. So if I swathed the grass first and then went round and did the crop, because I'd already taken the grass away from the edge, it didn't then put grass into the crop. Does that make sense? So I went round doing the crop swathing, but also grass swathing as well, which I then picked up when I did the flax straw. I picked up the forage pickup, which means now in here I've got 339,000 litres of grass. I only had 100 and something thousand litres before, so I've got plenty of grass in here for feeding the sheep because we've doubled our flock. Silage went up to 294,000 litres with another 781,000 litres of straw chugging away. So that's all good. I've got silage there, which means I can sell my bales and not worry. I've still got silage in here, or I can sell the silage from here and keep the bales. Either way around, all is good. So what I'm planning to do is, before the end of the episode, get my cultivating done, check on the rock picking situation, plough out the bits and put in my new bale and pallet storage, put in my new sleep trigger and take down the old silo. That's what I'm intending. Another good thing with this as well is that because I've pH'd, you've got a very clear defined difference. You can see where you shouldn't be able to see where you've been already, but it's very clear and stark and obvious where you've been and where you haven't, because the lime goes. But you can see where all the big stones are. Although I'm wondering, yeah, there's a lot on there. Look. So what I've got to do now, before I've got to cultivate it anyway, because my hang on, did I check to see if mine was direct drill? I'm sure I did. It wasn't, was it? I'm going to cultivate it anyway. Which is going to take a bit of time. Like I say, it's got to be done anyway, but this is all just part of me testing out to see whether or not the changing of the field state will have an impact on whether I can pick the rocks. Because if I can't pick the rocks, I don't know what I'm going to do. Which would then render the cultivating pointless. If it means I've got to plough it again, which I can't imagine I have got to. Let's grab the rock picker out. I'll just put it in here out of the way for the time being. I'm still paying my leasing on it. It's going to be very peculiar because I've had no problem rock picking at all at any point. So I can't fathom why it wouldn't work up to now. Oh, there we go. Whew. And if I go over the lime bit now and it works, I'm going to be really annoyed. Well, maybe it was just it tripped out for some reason. Let's go out across here and see if it does it. No. See what I mean? It's just a change to the field state. So with it as it is, I have mulched it, I'd limed it, pH'd it, I can't pick the rocks up, it's not letting me go over here. As soon as I cultivate it, it's fine, it's changed the field state and it's then saying, yep, you're good, you can pick up the rocks. Okay, that's good. So that test has worked. I'm happy with that. And I can go and collect all those. That'll replenish a load of the stone that I used for doing my liming, which was the whole point of having the lime production. Makes me a bit more self-sufficient. Means I've got a bit more work to do, but then I knew I would have work to do. Oh, I haven't bought any fertiliser spreader, have I? It's only thought when I need to do my nitrogen. I didn't buy one in the end. That will need to be done too, but I'll do that when I go and do my own. I don't know what crop I'm going to put in the ground. Like I said, I might do... I suppose I could put cotton in one and sugar beet in another, couldn't I? I was going to do like a massive sugar beet harvest, a massive cotton harvest. But I don't know. Still got my chickens to do, and my pigs was my intention. Right, so that... Whoa, that's that done. So, at least I know now that's going to work. So I've got all the cultivating to do. If we go back to our map, I've got the cultivating to do on all of that, and then that, and all of that. It's going to take a bit of time. I did look at getting a flexi coil. I thought about maybe using one of those, but we bought that. We'll crack on with it. Like I said, like I keep saying, audio book, bit of music, whatever, and I'll just chug away. Yep, here's a pig in a pig pen. So, what am I doing from here? I probably need to go back to the pickup. So yeah, got a company coming in to remove that. That's going to be taken down. What I might do is take the crops that are in these smaller silos, because at the moment I've got peas in that one. We've got peas in that one. That one's empty. Oh yeah, wheat, and a little bit of wheat left in that one. So that has remained empty the whole time. I did take the wheat out of that and move some of it, but left some in there. So I've got peas and wheat in those. If I take those out and put them into our new silo, which has got a pit and an auger, I won't have to necessarily use that anymore. I could remove those, which will give me a bit more space if I want to put something else in. Yeah, so that's going to be brought down. I'm thinking whether or not I might just move that actually over here, because I keep moving the pallets over here. It might make more sense to just have it appear there. Or once that's down, move it over. I'll think of something. I'll move some stuff over. I need to sort out moving my honey. So we'll whiz across here. Look at all the big stones and stuff that have got to go. It's all got to go. Bigger farm, bigger problems. That's pretty cool. I like that. It's a nice silhouette. I have a nice range of machinery. So, we are going to, as I mentioned previously, drop that down. So what I'm going to do is remove the section here that had the old silo in it. I'm going to plough out between the two fields, which is going to need rock picking, it's going to need liming, and all that doesn't like that. And then what I'm also going to do, I'm going to finish that off. That was just a kind of the start point. This little bit that had the trees on, which I removed a while back, and I said I was going to expand the field. So what we're going to do is whiz around here. Whoa, careful. Careful, careful, careful. Just try and look at the terrain. It looked like it went downhill a little bit there, but I don't think it does. Bring that level to there. So this end, I've taken a bit of fence out over there. This is the end I'm going to put my pallet storage in. So I'll take up a little bit of room here, but I've taken the room out from there because I was going to plough out between the two fields. I thought it made more sense to have that bit free and this bit with our storage in. That's got to go in as well. All these things needed doing. How did everyone else? How did I say? It's not as relevant for that. I had a lot of people. Some of our American cousins had messaged me because I put a few pictures and stuff up on Facebook and that over the weekend or the Saturday of the King's coronation. And some people, saying a lot of people, some people were celebrating as well in the US and all over the place. People were celebrating. I know in the UK. How did your UK celebrations go? If you were doing any? What did you get up to? I know the weather wasn't so great for the Saturday, but I know for Sunday a lot of people had garden parties on Sunday because the weather was a lot better. It was fantastic. I absolutely loved it. It was brilliant being with my family while we were all watching it. It made you feel very kind of patriotic, and I said before when I posted the video Saturday morning before it all happened, you know, that kind of feeling, how it was going to make you feel, or how I felt anyway. And it really did. It had that, you know, that thing. It was just, it was great. There were a lot of people that messaged me that didn't have a clue what was going on, didn't know, you know, what was it all about. And I think there's a confusion. Our monarchy and government, whilst they are linked, and the monarchy has the power at any point. They could disband government. They could disband all of it and then rule as a monarch. So whilst they do technically rule, and they are by no means just there for display, I think a lot of people thought that we were getting a new government, because someone had messaged me to say, oh, you know, we don't celebrate like that when we get a new president. And we still have a prime minister. You know, it's not. It wasn't that. It's the monarchy, the royal family, that was changing and is changing. We still have a government that governs, and we don't generally celebrate like that when our government changes, especially depending on who it is, of course. But it's quite a big thing. And there's quite a lot of change, and I think watching it all, what a lot of people were talking about as well was it was a real blend between a medieval tradition. I mean, that goes back, you know, the first true monarch, king of England was Athelstan, and that goes back to the time of the Vikings, when we had all separate kind of fiefdoms, smaller kingdoms. You had, you know, Wessex and Sussex and Northumberland and all these various smaller fiefdoms, I guess they were, you know, classified as, and a lot of them had allied and were allying with the Vikings, Norsemen, to overthrow each other, and there was lots of infighting and all sorts of stuff. And Athelstan, and this was around 900 AD, was the guy that brought it all together, united them under one banner, the United Kingdoms. That was, you know, so since then, over 1,000 years of monarchy, you know, and so there was that tradition, 1,000 years of tradition and stuff that was going into it, relics dating back, you know, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. I don't know, it's just fascinating to watch. But then there's a real nice mix into that of modern, you know, reflecting the fact how much the country's changed over the last, you know, since Queen Elizabeth II, since, you know, she was coronated in 1953 after her father had passed away, and how much it had all changed since then. You know, they were saying, you know, we had at the coronation on Saturday female bishops, which had only come into existence in 2016, I think they said. The amount of, I mean, one thing that really stuck out to me was there were 4,000 or 5,000 troops that were there from all the various different branches of the armed services on the parade itself. How many women were part of that? You know, you go back, like I say, go back to the last coronation, that wouldn't have been the case. It was amazing to watch. It was, you know, yeah, it really kind of filled you with pride, and I don't know, it did for me. Like I say, I don't know how you felt about it, but so what we've done now, our field here now is blended, so that's all back into one. Cross there will be, cross there will be. That's going to have to be cleared and then limed, and that will be all done. So that all becomes kind of one bigger field. So what I've got to do now is put in my storage there, which I'll do. Salt out. And I'll do a little bit of landscaping around that, and then we'll put in our sleep trigger. Yeah. I've just got to decide on the orientation of this, because I don't know if I'm going to put any other stuff down here as well, which I might well do. Whether to put it kind of this way facing out there, or this way facing out here. I don't want to put it across there. It wants to be kind of back up into the, I mean, it's not a corner, is it? It's a curve, but somewhere around there. So I'm going to go for a standard one. I think we're going to go just, I can't remember, is it silos? Yeah, that one there. So 250 bales or pallets that will take, which is more than adequate. It will do both. Oh yeah, this is the long one, isn't it? This one, the Giants one. So whether or not I put it that way, so it actually faces out to where I put the come across a little bit. What's it overlapping with? That's interesting. About there. Yeah. Boom. There we go. So we'll come off of here, directly into it, store stuff in here, do a little bit of landscape around the side of that, a little bit around the side here, just to give ourselves a bit of an end here when we do our next crop, where we end up putting in here. That's that in. Fantastic. Right then, let's go over there and get my sleep trigger put in to move the pickup over. Let's crack on with cultivating and rock picking. I've just realised as well, looking over at my open gardens, how much corn I've got. I need to sort that out. I need to load all that up and get that shifted over. Actually, you know what I'll do? Oops. Ah, that wasn't a good idea. It happened before. Let's do that first, and then do that. No, come forward a bit, then do that. Brilliant. we'll get some of this moved over. So I'll see you in a minute. We'll get back over there and we'll. I'm just trying to decide. I don't know what really to do about moving stuff over. It will become more organic, I suppose, as I use things. The harvester will go over there to the new farm. I've got more storage and more building space. The seeder at the moment is out. That can go in one of those over there at the new farm. Yeah. Right. Let's get some of these loaded up. This is where we're at. I'm just moving this stuff back over. That was where I was going to start off, and that was a sort of test scenario. But I've actually decided I'm going to move over to do this other bit first. It will make more sense in a moment. So, where are we at? Peas have gone out of that one. The wheat has gone as well. All three of the small silos have been removed, and I've put my auger to the side. I don't know if I'm going to need it. I could sell it, but I'm going to keep on it for the time being. So we've got a bit of open space here. I've moved over the honey pallet spawn point is over here as well, alongside the beehives. That's done. I was thinking about maybe moving. That silo is standard crop types only, so I was thinking of maybe moving the canola, the wheat, the barley out of that one and putting in. So that one would be straw, and potatoes would be in that one. That one is for the flax straw, because they're only 5 million litre capacity. So to be fair, actually, what I've got in that one, I could have that as another hayloft. So that could just be straw and flax straw. But I would need to move the potatoes out. I'm just trying to think how much I've got. 3 million, 1 point... Oh no, actually I'll be alright. So I could then remove one of those. It was sort of there for what I needed it to be, but that wouldn't be a problem actually. So I could start moving the stuff over. And what I have also done, which you probably saw when I was unloading the peas from there, we'll whiz round past the new farm site. Just realised as well, I've left the lights on here for about 3 days, I think. I think it's this M1 here. Yeah, turn the lights off, that's better. So I put a trackway in where I said I was going to put a trackway in. So across the back of there. I've also put a trackway into the side there, across the ditch. What I might do is own more bits of land now. I could either level, I could spend some time filling the ditches and levelling them, which I suppose I could do. Or I could plough out the middle sections that are a bit smoother so I can make it one field. Again, that's an option. Or I might start putting a few little bridges here and there as I start owning more and more land. The ditches and gullies between fields that I own, why not? It would make sense to do that. Give me a few more crossing points here and there where I need it. I'm thinking of buying this field here as well, because it joins onto the back of the farm. It would make sense. So that's open for new equipment to go in. I've put peas into here. I've brought over my seeder and my mulcher roller, grass field roller, that's all put in here, giving that a bit of a clean, giving that a bit of a wash. So they're stored in this one now. And then over at my new farmhouse, we've got a nice little chair out the front so I can enjoy the sunrises and sleep as well if I want to, which is all good. New silos in, so what I can do is then go out and go around and collect all of these up now and put them into my new pallet and bale storage if I want to, but it just gives me a few more options. And I've got a lot more space. So yeah, looking at... I'm just trying to... Should I buy that? How much is it? 259,000. I know I'm going to make more money from my fertiliser sales and my straw processing. Do I need any other machinery for the time being? Mind you, I need to sort out what I'm going to do about chickens. I'm thinking about another plot as well, actually. Maybe field 3. Something big enough that I can put the chicken barn buildings onto, but that wouldn't be a waste of land. Does that make sense? You know, like a field like that, massive field, I wouldn't necessarily want to waste the land itself, but a smaller plot, if I could fit them on, might not be a bad idea. Well, I guess I could do it on one of these. If I bought this, I could have the bulk section here, that bit here directly behind the farm. Might not be a bad idea. Sort of two birds, one stone kind of situation. Right, that's going to go down to the harvester in a little while to carry on with that. But what I'm going to do is the bit I ploughed between the fields, I'm just going to pick the rocks off that. Then I'll cultivate, so it'll cultivate it all in, and that then will, where I've limed as well, will link all those fields together. It won't look as patchy as it is at the moment. So I'm going to get that done. Done a little bit of landscaping as well over by my new pallet and bale storage. Corn's gone, soybeans gone over. There's a little bit of cotton there, not a huge amount. Dropping that down would be a better idea. That would certainly help with actually picking the rocks up, wouldn't it? Oh dear. Just looking at actually thinking maybe I need to landscape a little bit by the side. I might have ploughed a little bit too far over, because that first little bit there, I think the ploughing section's gone into the ditch a little bit. Might make... well, it's working. So as you can see, just up here, I've done a little bit of landscaping, so that all fits in nicely and goes out to the road as well. It's kind of out the way on its own. I'm also considering what to do about all the fencing, because I've been doing a lot of the mowing when I've been doing the baling for the, you know, for local government. Whether or not it makes sense to remove some of those fences, get them out of the way, I don't know. I might do. So yeah, cultivating, rock picking, And in all honesty, unless I decide to put in a cover crop, if we go back to our calendar here, we could put some wheat in the ground. If I was really Johnny on the spot and jumped on it now, I'd have to get it done today, but we could get some in the ground. And it's just grass and oilseed radish after that would be the only thing I could plant. So I can't do the stuff I said, but I could do what I did before. If I really wanted to, I could grass them both. I mean, that would give me a ludicrous amount of grass. Which, in all honesty, at the moment, I've got silage being produced, I've got silage bales, I've got 300,000 litres of grass in storage. I don't think I need to. I suppose hay, though. I could for hay. But I'm just thinking of the new plot I've just bought as well. I might lease the Swather again, because if I use the Swather with the conditioner header, I can cut and ted at the same time with that. So maybe I'll make some hay. Like I say, I wasn't intending doing cows. Like I said, sheep I was going to do, pigs and then chickens was that kind of, yeah, I'm going to have a go at that. I wasn't going to do cows on here, so it's not really, I haven't got that same necessity to make hay as I normally would do. And then if I jump on the cultivator, it will all become one. Very Spice Girls. It's nice. I like when you kind of get a plan in your head of something you want to do. And you've decided, you know what, when it's time, when I finish harvest, when this is done, when that's done, I'll get onto that. To reach that point where you can actually crack on with it, that's cool. I like that. I'm glad that we've got it done. So, obviously I've got a lot more rock picking to do. I'm going to get on with the cultivating. Let's blend it all. I'm still unsure. I think spending another 200 grand on buying that that other case tractor might be a little bit of an extravagance at the moment, considering I have got a list of other things I want to buy, so I'm going to hold off on that. I'm sure we'll get some other good deals and some other things. So, let's drop that down. Does mean once I've done this one as well, I'll be able to pick the rocks off of this field. At least it'll all be blended together, ready for whatever I decide to plant in it. I really don't know at the moment. I can't plant until we get into next spring anyway. I think this year might be one where I jump through winter, because I really haven't got a lot I need to do. It's a little bit harder. I've said this before when I've done Let's Plays. Jumping ahead isn't so bad when you haven't got many productions, when you haven't got a lot of stuff that needs to be topped up, when you haven't got animals. When you have got animals, when you've got things that need to be topped up regularly, when you've got productions running, it's a little bit trickier, because yes, you can skip ahead, but each day there's a kind of list of jobs you need to do before you can skip ahead to the next day, so there's still work that he's doing each day. But anyway, that's where I'm going to end this one. No stones to collect off this field, which is good. But yeah, next phase is underway. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free, and if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.